Perfect. Okay. Anza, you good? You will be good? I love that. Hey, Jim, can you get that door for me? Okay. Hey, my goal is for us to be done before 7:25. That's my BHAG. Hopefully we can do that and get you guys on your way. Thank you guys so much for being here. We are taking over 70 high school students, and I don't see 70 parents, which can be a little discouraging. But thank you guys for being here. I will say this. For every parent, if they do reach out to me and they want to know what they missed, they're going to listen to this. Misery loves company. So if you have to listen to it, they're going to have to listen to the whole thing as well. So, hey, Ruth, I'm going to go really, really fast. And then any questions you have for me at the end, would love to answer. Here's the main reason why we're doing this. I normally love email, social media. Like if I can give you this information and we don't have to have a parent meeting, I normally prefer that. I just think this is warranted. If I'm going to take your kids somewhere for 3 days, we should at least have a partnership where we have to at least meet, make sure we're on the same page. Any questions you have, we can answer it now and not try and do it 10 seconds after you've checked your kid in when there's mass chaos going on, trying to get, hey Cronins, onto a bus. So I really appreciate you guys being here. Number 2, I would love for you guys to look around and see all the other families of students that are going. I think it's really good when not only we have a partnership, but you guys have a partnership as well, knowing that who's going on the trip, I think is going to be really beneficial for you and your family. And then number 3, we are taking a lot of students that either A, I don't know, or B, I've never met their parents. So, which is a great thing when you're a youth group and you want to have a really strong outreach program. That's awesome. But if you're a parent, and I think I know every face in here, but if I haven't met you, I would love to be able to do that before we leave for Awanata. So that's kind of my heart behind meeting. I think it's warranted as we grow in a partnership together, that anytime we go on a trip, I try and just make sure I know who mom and dad are. Mom and dad has kind of heard my heart and some of our expectations. So I have a 30-second video that I want to show you. Anza, are you good to show that video? And then we'll jump right in. Oh, I think it's doing that same thing to you. You're good. Take your time. I'll show you the video in just a little bit. Speaking of technology, I would love for a couple things to happen. Number 1, if you would take out your phone, I would love to give you my cell phone number, which is area code. Sorry, everyone was like trying to get their phones out. 864-363-2206. 864-363-2206. The reason why I'm giving you that number is I think it's just great for you to have it. But I would love for you at some point just to shoot me a text and let me know that you were here. And if you can give me your email address, that would also be wonderful, just to make sure we have that accurately before we go. Speaking of technology, while you're texting me that you were here, thank you for doing that with your email address. No cell phones, no smartwatches, and no AirPods. I say this to parents every year, and guess what still comes on every trip? Cell phones, smartwatches, and AirPods. And over the years, I've been really gracious to that. But it's really unfair to the kids who obey, and there's no consequences to the ones that disobey, or as they claim, they forgot. So here's kind of a new thing that we're doing. If we see your student has it, Awanata is only 45 minutes away. The punishment is actually going to be for you and not for them. So we're going to ask that the parent gets in the car, comes all the way to Awanata, gets the contraband, drives all the way back home. We've noticed that if the parent gets punished, the parent will actually check the luggage. We've just heard over the years, I'm so sorry, I just didn't know. We need to be on the same page that you guys know. If we're going to take your kiddos away for 3 days to a retreat, we also need to retreat from technology. So if you guys can help us with that, that would be really, really helpful. Also with cell phones, there's absolutely no cell service at Awanata. We were there last Thursday. We tried to getting on their Wi-Fi. It was not very good. So, no phone call from Tim is a good phone call. If I call you, it's not to let you know what the weather's like and how your student is doing. If I'm calling you, it's probably going to be for one of two things: disciplinary or a broken bone or something crazy like that. We'll get to the camp nurse that we're taking in just a second. But if you try and call me, chances are I'm not going to be able to pick up the phone. So if you Google Awanata, let's give it up for Ali Poost, everybody. If you Google Awanata, you will find their number and their address. So Awanata just says, call them if there's an issue where you need to get a hold of us, me or Josh or our life group leaders, or if push really comes to shove, you can just come to the camp and come hang out with us. So communication, no news from us is good news. The number one way we're going to try to communicate throughout the weekend is social media. So I notice when I'm there, if I drive right outside the camp about 200 yards, I'll get full bars. You drive right back on the camp, no service at all. So I'll make sure to get really good content, drive outside the walls of the retreat center, and update social media as much as I can. Let's talk coming and going real quick. Anyone here have also middle school students that'll be going? Okay, perfect. So I'm going to talk about middle school leaving at a different time than high school. And the reason why we're doing that is we only have 5 North Hills vehicles, and it can only hold like 68 students at a time. So middle school check-in is at 2 o'clock. Middle school departure will be 3 o'clock. Then our buses will take the middle schoolers, drop them off, come all the way back. High school check-in will be 3:30. High school departure will be 4:30. It'll be 4:30. Please don't be the parent that gets there at 4:28. No one will like you. We won't say it, but we'll be thinking it. So try to get there with at least enough time to get checked in. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns, prayer requests, suggestions, everything that's so great, just make sure that you get there with enough time. We want to be able to hit the road right at 4:30. And then when we come back on Sunday, middle school will leave at 10 a.m. and get back at 10:45. High school will leave at noon and then get back to the church at 12:45. Does that make sense? Just so you know, with high school, when they get back at 12:45, they're going to be hungry. They don't serve lunch on Sundays, but we're going to make sure to give them a big breakfast. But when they get back at 12:45, if they say they're hungry, we did take good care of them. I promise. We fed them. They're just going to need lunch because we won't be able to provide that for them on Sunday. I covered this in middle school. I'm going to have to cover this again in high school because it happens on every trip that has a trailer. Caleb can probably say yes and amen to this because I normally used to get him to come on these trips with me until he wised up. If your student does not put their luggage on the trailer, it will not get to Awanata. If your student doesn't put your luggage on the trailer at Awanata, it will not get back to the church. So we have tons of high school students that will leave their luggage like at their bed, at the cafeteria for breakfast, and they just assume some fairy will find it and put it on the trailer. We're not going to babysit them with luggage. Make sure they know that when they put it on the trailer, if they need something on it, they're not going to get it until we unload. How many times have we loaded up a massive trailer? It's taken us 45 minutes. We have one kid come back and go, my medicine's on there, and if I don't take it, I'll die. And we're like, why? And then we have to unpack the whole trailer, and then they're like, never mind, I actually took it. And then we'll load it back up, and everyone's sinning inside their hearts and their minds, and it's not good. So as you're coaching your student, make sure you say, when you put it on the trailer, it's done until you get to your destination. So there's that. Something always gets lost. Something always gets stolen. We have a great track record here in this youth group. Mainly because two reasons. Number one, middle school and high school students don't keep up with stuff really, really well, especially if you bought it. If they bought it, maybe a little bit better with doing that. So don't send your kid in their Air Jordans. Don't send your kid in nice Chacos. Don't send anything nice because they're probably going to lose it or make it really, really messy. Yep.
What about Stanley?
Your daughter lost hers last week, and I just gave it to Christy. So, great example. Yeah, they can bring Stanleys.
I feel like that's pretty important for some people.
I like how you're hip with the times. Yes, appreciate that, Caleb. And make sure they don't leave their wallets on top of luggage. Out of sight, out of mind. So just coach them. If you have money, stuff it in a sock somewhere and hide it in luggage. Normally with high schoolers, out of sight, out of mind. Works really, really well. It just happens every year. If there's a way I can try to prevent it this year, I'll try my darndest. But normally I'll get an email like, hey, my kid's shoes got really dirty and those were really expensive shoes. Or, hey, my kid took $10 and someone took it. I don't know how to help you other than pray for our youth group. That will quit stealing from one another. But if you could just really drive it home to them, don't try to bring really nice things out of sight, out of mind. We do have a camp nurse. Lori Duzen is going with us. Don't know if you know Lori or not. If you could throw that QR code up, Anza. Hopefully this will work on your phone. Two things. If your kid wants Tylenol, ibuprofen, any of the over-the-counter stuff, you've got to fill this out. And even if your kid is bringing medication, two things with medication. Number one, only bring the amount of pills or tablets they will need for the trip. I think if you guys remember the parent email that went out 2 years ago, we had a kid bring a whole thing of pills, and he made a lot of money that week. So don't bring 50 pills. He only needs to bring 3 pills. So if you guys are tracking with me, unfortunately, what can happen with medicine, we're just asking that when you come and check in on a Friday, that if your kid does have medication, go over to Lori. Let her know your student has those medications. Your student will be in charge of their own medicine. Like, we will not be administering it to them. We're not going to make sure they took their medicine. Your kid will be in charge of their medicine. We just need to know that they brought it with them and how much of it they brought. If you need over-the-counter stuff, then this is what you're going to need to scan. If they have a headache, I would love to give them ibuprofen. If you don't fill this out, then our church can get in legal problems if you don't fill out that medical release form. Yeah.
We still need to send the ibuprofen? Or you're saying only send prescription medication?
You can send both. Normally parents just send like the prescriptive stuff. But let's say your kiddo didn't bring any Tylenol or Advil or whatever, but got a headache Saturday morning and asks us for it.
That has to be filled out.
Yeah.
Let's say your kid gets stung in the eye by a bee.
Yep. When your kid got stung in the eye with a bee, that was awesome and scary. And listen, we've seen it all at this point. I'm actually kind of numb inside. And my own kids break bones nonstop, and I'm very dead inside. Pray for me. But make sure that you fill that out, because I would love to be able to get them some of the over-the-counter stuff. This is fun. We had a kid last year also got stung or bitten by something and needed his EpiPen ASAP. I'm searching the body. Where's your Epi? It's in my cabin. I've gained a lot of weight, okay? So for Tim to sprint to that cabin and back was not helpful. Not in my 20s anymore. Keep the EpiPen on you if your kid has an Epi. So that would just be really helpful if you need me to help stick their thigh real quick. And to help them, make sure you coach them on keeping their EpiPen with them. That makes sense? Good. Any questions with medical stuff?
Tim, I think that one question earlier, will we have Tylenol, Advil, over-the-counter stuff?
Yeah, Lori will.
With us? Okay, so we don't have to give additional.
No, that cheap over-the-counter stuff, we'll have that. Like Band-Aids, Benadryl, ibuprofen, like the stuff that anyone can buy from Walgreens. But like your kid's ADHD medicine, I won't have that for them. So they got to bring that with them. Good question, Steve. Dietary...
What about Dramamine?
Who?
Dramamine.
right for
What's that?
car sickness.
Oh, yeah. Can they get that over the counter?
Oh, yeah. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will we have that? Probably not.
Okay.
Yeah, send that with
I'll
your
send
kid.
it with that.
Sorry, I probably should know that.
Usually, yeah, I feel like in
Yeah,
the
you
past
can.
I have given it to the nurse and been like, "Can you please put this in my child's hand when he puts the luggage in the car?"
Yeah.
So that on the way home you don't have somebody throwing up in the
But as long as you
in the
filled
van.
that out and you told Lori that you're giving it to her, you're fine.
In other words, I can give it to her and she can have it on her person.
Yeah.
She's 18 now.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
she's
she
good.
Yeah, no, mine was.
Does she have that with SOU?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, we probably don't do that with SOU. Moving on. Okay, any other questions with medicine or stuff with Lori? Perfect. Dietary stuff, let us know. If we had one kid that went with us, this was probably in 2018, won't use any names, the kid just didn't eat. Or when it did eat, it was just salads. So when this kid was really weak by Wednesday, we said, what's wrong? He's like, I haven't really eaten anything. We said, why? He said, I'm gluten-free. We said, well, why didn't you tell us that? We just didn't know. You got to tell us. I can't help your kid unless you tell me we have dietary restrictions. You're more than welcome to bring a cooler of their favorite stuff. We'll put it in the freezer when we get there, and we'll make sure that they have everything they need to enjoy their weekend. So just make sure that you do that. Mostly parents will catch me 5 minutes before we leave and give me a 30-minute history of the dietary restrictions. Not helpful. Won't remember it. Your kid will have a terrible time. So if you can get that to me a little bit before I can take notes, act like I'm listening and understand, but I'll get that to our team. We'll make sure that we get them taken care of. We're doing a polar plunge. It's going to be cold. Your kids do not have to participate if they don't want to. We just ask that boys wear shorts that aren't awkwardly short and girls wear a one-piece. We are making them participate in mostly everything, but we're not going to make the polar plunge. I don't even really want to do it, but I will to be a good sport. But if you don't want your kiddo to be a part of the polar plunge, just let us know, and we can make accommodations for that. Water shoes are encouraged. So I actually jumped in the lake to see how cold it was when we were there last week. And it was really, really cold, but it was fun. But getting out, the rocks were really sharp. So I thought it might be helpful for me to tell them they need water shoes, or chacos will be really helpful. Snacks. Kids are encouraged to bring snacks as much as you want. There is a snack shop and there is a swag shop at Awanata, but their bottled water was $4.50. So the cheap redneck in me, I got angry at that. So if you want to bring your kiddo with snacks, that's great. We'll have plenty of room for that. I think money, if you want to send your kid with $40, that might be enough. They did have sweatshirts, stickers, snacks and stuff. 30 to $40. I normally get that question. How much money should I bring with my kid? Hey guys, high school room's over there. Yeah, right on. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, see you guys. Welcome to Alive. So if you want to bring your kids snacks, that's awesome. 30 to $40 will be plenty of money for them. Here are things that we're asking you to bring with your student. And this is going to be really helpful for us with some ideas that we're executing. Their favorite board game or card game. Just make sure that you label it. We're actually, this sounds crazy. We're talking about relationships and dating and family dynamics. But one of the activities we're going to try and do is, can you make eye contact with someone and do board games and actually be a human without a screen? It's crazy. Board games and card games is actually what Barna studies are calling for in teenagers right now. So we have this kind of fun activity kind of set up for them, but we need each student to bring their favorite board game or card game. Secondly, there's disc golf. There is basketball, volleyball. There's like all the sports, but they don't supply the actual like basketballs, volleyballs, soccer balls. So we are asking each kid to bring their favorite sports, whatever, that they want to play. So footballs, disc, whatever. I'm not athletic. That's it. Yep. That's why our youth group only does Turkey Bowl once a year. So we're asking that your kiddo brings that. And let me see what else. Favorite board game. gaming equipment, not video game, but like football, baseball, gloves, anything they want to bring, they can bring with them. And then packing lists. Let's just go over this really, really quick. Bible, please, 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 please have your kiddo bring a Bible. And it's something we're even trying to teach over here. It's crazy how many kids don't bring their Bible to youth group or church. And so we think it'll be really helpful if they bring their Bible and a journal. We're going to give them specific time in the schedule to journal, like to actually go with a pen and a book and write in it. So make sure that they bring that. Bedding, pillows, and towels. They're going to be given a mattress that 90,000 other people have slept on, about that thick. So egg crates, sleeping bags, pillows, anything where they need to be comfortable, that'd be great. Every year, we have around 5 to 7 kids who don't come with any bedding because they think it's like the Holiday Inn. They're just going to show up and this bed is ready for them. It's not ready for them. So make sure you do that. 2 towels is best, one for the lake and one for the shower. Clothes to get sweaty and dirty in. Toiletries, a refillable water bottle is great. And then closed-toed shoes that aren't the water shoes will be awesome. Fun stuff that we're going to be doing, just so you know, every kid's going to go horseback riding, which I think is going to be super fun. I know nothing about horses. I think I've ridden a horse once, so look for a different coach on how to ride a horse. I'm not your guy, but everyone's going to be doing that. We're all going to take massive Hummers up to the top of a mountain for an early morning worship service to see the sunrise. Super cool. But if you see pictures of your kids in Hummers going up mountains, don't be alarmed. That's a part of this whole gig. It'll be a lot of fun. Every kid's going to play archery tag. And then every life group is going to go on a hike together. A hike. I've gotten a lot of questions. Can they bring walking sticks? Sure. Why not? Just label them. Put your name on it. Permanent marker. And that'll be great. Any questions about those things? Beautiful. And then lastly, we are taking 35 life group leaders with us, which is awesome. So if you see your kids' life group leaders, give them a high five. Even if you don't mean it, encourage them and say thank you, like something so they feel seen. It's hard enough, like getting enough leaders to properly staff a youth group this big, but to ask them to spend the night with kids in a room that are probably going to keep them up till 3 a.m.
And we'll smell real bad.
Ugh, yeah, super bad. I think if you see them, any encouragement you can throw their way will be really important. I've gotten this question a lot. Why the cost of $220? Mainly because of food. With our economy right now, food is just astronomical. And then number 2, it was to pay for those leaders. It's hard enough getting them, but when they have to pay for themselves, it's just not going to happen. So the big bulk of your cost went to where I could afford to take my adult leaders with me. So before we talk more of the spiritual direction, is there any questions about the practical stuff?
Is the hike like a 2-hour hike or like a
great question.
Pack some stuff or walk?
I did it, and I walked it in about 45 minutes.
No snack. Well, I'm gonna want a snack, but no snacks necessary.
Yeah. No, it's not like a hike.
Yeah.
It's just a hike. It's a walk. It's a walk in the
Walk
woods
in the woods.
with some hill, a little incline.
Yeah.
Like on the treadmill, it's about a 3.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
What about an air mattress?
There's probably no room, and it'll be treated as a trampoline. It'll probably get popped. If you bring egg crates and a sleeping bag, you're fine.
Okay.
These kids are made of rubber. That'll be good. Yeah, but the air mattress will come back broken.
Will we get this list emailed to us?
Probably not.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I can. Yeah.
If not,
Yeah.
take a picture of it.
Yeah, I would say take your phone out and just take a picture of it. That's so funny. That's so satanic. This is theirs at the bottom. Advertisement icon. Yeah, they don't want anything satanic. That's good. So yeah, I would take a picture of that. Yeah. And
I was gonna ask the same question if you're gonna email this to us.
I can.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be helpful, thanks.
Yeah.
Because I have to print out for each kid, otherwise I'm like, here's your phone, you know?
Exactly.
Not helpful.
Yeah. Okay, spiritual direction. We have asked Matt Densky from Fellowship Greenville to come and be our retreat speaker. Matt is a great friend of mine. I grew up at Fellowship Greenville. That was my youth group where I went as a kid. And Matt is wonderful. He's going to be hitting on 3 things: family, friendships, relationships. The dynamics of family, the dynamics of friend, peer-to-peer, and then these are high schoolers. So we're going to talk about dating, sex, relationships, everything in between. Before we leave, I will send you guys, I will email this. The schedule is on here. I'm going to leave the schedule right here if you want to take a picture of it before you go. And then these are going to be Matt's passages he's teaching from, plus all the questions that life groups are going to be talking and discussing in our time together. So I would love for you to take a picture of this before you go and pray over that. Like, these are the things that we're going to hit pretty hard with our students. Those are normally the 3 most broken things we see with middle and high schoolers in our time of doing student ministry: family dynamics, the drama of friendships, and them trying to figure out like the whole dating, sex, relationship scope. So we're really trusting God in 3 days that he'll do some really big things there. So specific ways that you guys can pray for us is, number 1, unity. Please pray for unity, especially in a youth group. Like, that's really, really important, because we're hoping that momentum will follow us home, but that our kids grow together in relationship, they make new friends, that there's unity with them and their life group leader is really important. And number 2, salvation. I don't have a spiritual radar of the kids in our youth group, but I think if you were to sit down and ask the average kid, what is the gospel? Have you ever surrendered your life to Jesus? Tell me about it. It's not very encouraging. So we're not going to assume that every kid on this retreat is saved. We're actually going to go at it that every kid in the room is not saved. So just be praying that God will not only open our eyes to family, friendship, and relationships, but that'll open it up to the gospel, and that Jesus is really good and that Jesus is worthy to follow, and submit yourself so that these things are figured out through having a relationship with Jesus. If we can figure this out, these things will figure itself out. So just be praying. Matt Densky is going to go really hard in the realm of salvation. And then lastly, just pray for our adult leaders that are going, that they'll have energy and excitement, and not want to be like me and in bed by 8:30 reading the AARP. Like, I love going to bed early. The love of Jesus doesn't abide in me after 9 p.m., so we got to figure something out there, because I get cranky. You know, it's bad. So just be praying for that. And I would love for us, in the time we have remaining, I got done at 7:26. Oh, I said 7:25. We're going to take 4 minutes, and I would just love for us just to break up, find a couple parents around you, and just lift this up in prayer. And then I'll close us in 3 minutes. 5 minutes. Sorry, Caleb. 5 minutes. I would love for us just to break up and pray, and then I'll close us. And then if you have any specific things that you want to talk to me about privately, I'll stick around and do that with you guys. Yeah.
So are the lessons going to be like it is here, where it's everybody together for a lesson and then they'll break off into their life groups for the question and answer? Or is it like...
Yep. Yeah, it'll definitely be all together for the teaching. But I know that the life group leaders are going to capitalize on conversations in the hike, in the journaling time, in the Hummer ride up for the worship service in the morning. I don't know if it'll look like life groups do here at youth group.
But it'll be separated by age and...
Same life groups.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Elijah will be with 10th grade guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Find a couple people around you, and if you could pray for those few things, that would just be really great. And then I'll close this out in a couple minutes.